Hello everyone and welcome to the Anime Zillia, and thank you for joining me as we talk about manga chapter 154 of We Never Learn, the manga series. Now, this is going to be an off-the-fly review. I've not written out a script for it. However, I've just read the chapter a couple of times, and I'm going to break this review down into, I think, 3 parts. Number 1, I'm going to give my thoughts on the actual big cliffhanger thingy-majig, the main focus of this chapter. I'm going to talk about the characters that have returned throughout the Rizu route, and then I'm going to talk about the main issues that I personally have with the Rizu route. So starting off with this kiss scene. Yes, this is a chapter where Rizu and Narayuki actually confess their feelings to each other. We've had this awkward game going on where they're like, oh, there's a game. Stop that. Oh, your feelings. Oh, stop that. It's just a game. It's just a game. And then eventually they kind of just went, nope. It's actually real. Yuiga confesses feelings. He says, I love you to Rizu. She then says it back, and they embrace each other, and magical things happen. Now, this scene, to me, it was beautifully animated. I can really get behind the art style that they drew with this. The art style in this chapter was a little bit wacky throughout the entire thing, but the chapter itself did an okay job at building up to this point. It's the entire route that I have problems with, but just for this chapter, the fact that we went with just Yuiga and Rizu on their own, Misao and Sekijo are off. Sekijo's going to talk to her family, more about her development and progress and stuff. That's good, seems logical, seems like the right thing for a character to go and do. So, her being written out that way was really good. Misao just joining her is for plot convenience, but what can you say? And the fact that they're walking through the school and they're kind of reminiscing and thinking about the past, I think was pretty nice. I like it when they do trips down memory lane stuff. It's really cool because it then refreshes my mind about things that have happened. And the way that they kind of build up to this in terms of sitting in the classroom and Yumiko going, how did you know I was just acting and trying not to feel lonely? Now, this scene creeps me out a little bit. I will admit that. Rizu saying, I was watching you, was just so... I just felt so stalkerish. A character just kind of went, oh, I just watched you. Oh, he's hungry. Oh, he's had a good day. Oh, something's wrong. It's just like a little kind of creepy girl sat in the corner just like peering, watching Yuiga's every move. And I know that's not how it actually is. Don't, shout at me in the comments for that, but I just felt like she was almost trying to stalk him as such. But moving on. So the build-up itself to the kissing was nice. They fumbled each other, they stumbled, they kind of embraced, and then boom, it just came out of that. Now, I like the reference to when they first kissed in terms of Rizu slipping and falling off the mound, and then they accidentally kissed. I like that. That was pretty cool. I love the throwbacks like that. But then let's move on to the characters that returned in this chapter and throughout the entirety of the Rizu route. Now, Rizu is a popular character. Whether or not she's the popular-est character is to be seen. Personally speaking, if I was ranking all the females, Rizu would be near the bottom. That's just me personally. I like Rizu's development that she has. I think she's had some good character development and it was interesting in that regard. But honestly, this route just made her character a bit of a downgrade in my opinion. And honestly, I feel like the mangaka kind of thought the same way, simply because he brought back everybody. Now, if he does this in every single route, then I'll forgive this chapter and this route for doing that, but let's think about it. He brought back Furuhashi at the beach scene. Furahashi's a popular character, maybe more popular than Rizu herself. He brought back Azumi. Even though it was just for a little panel, she still came back. Again, another popular character. And in this chapter, he brings back Kirisu. Now, there's 2 theories I have about bringing back Kirisu for this chapter, and they're a bit wacky, but just if you want to hear them, here they are. So, number 1. The manga was probably thinking, right, this is the pinnacle moment of the Rizu route. This is where they're going to confess, they're going to kiss. How can I bring back the readers that are potentially switched off from the Rizu route and don't actually like Rizu's character? He wants this chapter to be a big success because that's what he's been building up to. So what better way to endorse and entice fans to come back with the taglines in the chapter being Kiss and Kirisu. School. So, can you just imagine if you're looking through manga and you're just flipping through the internet, scrolling down, and you see We Never Learn manga chapter 158, and then it's like Kirisu, Kiss, School? Excuse me? You're going to go check it out, and you're going to be a little bit disappointed by seeing what you get at the end. But again, Kirisu is one of the most popular characters in the We Never Learn franchise. She's been in #1 rank polls consistently, and I don't know, I thought it was a good strategy to bring her back in this chapter, but again, maybe there's another ultimatum. Now, the other kind of theory / idea that I had was the fact that he's finding it hard to draw Miss Kirisu. And he just wants to practice, and, you know, he just thought, why not put her into the chapter? Because in some shots, she looks perfectly fine and normal as the Kirisu that we know. But if you look at the very top, in the panel that I've got here, that does not look like the Kirisu that we know. That looks like a lot more sort of calmed expression Kirisu. Yes, Kirisu has mellowed out a lot, and her development throughout the series has been very prominent and very impactful and at the forefront. But at the same time, this art style just looks a little bit too different from the Kirisu that we all know and love. So yeah, maybe he's just trying to get some more practice in before he's got a drawer for an entire story arc. But who knows? I thought it was kind of funny. And then to top it all off, not only do they bring back characters, they also take the focus away from Rizu by giving Sekijo a bit of character development in her own route, which I always laughed at and thought was a bit funny, but at the same time, it's still kind of like, what are they doing with Rizu? The mangaka kind of fell flat with this route, if I'm perfectly honest. And this is where it comes to this part of the video where I'm talking about my main issues with the route itself. And that is the chemistry and the actual build-up. Now, this is just a personal thing for me personally, so if you don't agree, then you can feel free to let me know in the comments down below all you like. We can have a discussion, just be respectful of everything and everyone. But here's my thoughts. So basically, Rizu's character was not very heavily focused on towards the end of the Uruka arc. Okay, fine. She doesn't need to be. It's Uruka's section. But then that creates a problem in where I'm forgetting quite a lot of the moments that we've had between Rizu and Yuiga. So then when we go straight into this one, I don't remember them very prominently because they're not that impactful to me when I first read them. So when we go to a Rizu route, the only flashback that we pretty much have that has any impact is the only one that I actually remember because we have some good character development from that one. And that one is, of course, the one where she's learning about her grandma's feelings and to try and like herself a bit more. And you know what I'm talking about. And that is where they get to the point where they're like, we're just playing a game. And then we have that add-on to this route, which to me was a big mistake because it just creates awkward tension that really wasn't necessary. Because it's just like, it just annoys me as a reader whenever we know what's going to happen. You can see it clear as day, but then people don't actually confess their own feelings. And yes, this route was all about being honest with yourself. I get that's the message behind this route. Sekijo, she has to be honest about her feelings. Her parents had to be honest about their feelings. Yuiga has to be honest about his feelings, and so does Rizu. It all makes sense. I understand that 100%. But I thought that with the chapters that they had, they could have built more chemistry together. They could have kind of used that time, used those panels to better grow the connection between the two and re-establish what they've been through together. Yes, the whole kind of swimsuit thing being stuck on the mound, that was right, but it was played off for comedy in the end. Because they both jumped into water, Sekijo tried to save him. Yeah, done. Yes, I sound like I'm ranting. Yes, I sound a bit negative. I don't like being negative when it comes to the We Never Learn series. I just feel like this route kind of fell flat, and personally, I wasn't a big fan of it. But overall, I thought this chapter was okay. Nothing brilliant, nothing special, but the kiss scene was quite nice. The animation was absolutely stunning. I'm not going to diss any of the animation art style in this at all. Even the Kirisu face looking slightly odd, I still thought was quite nice. If this was animated, I think it would be a nice scene. I can imagine some nice music happening, but again, we don't have any reference to the firework thing. All we have is Rizu saying something about myths and legends and going too far. But yeah, and just as a side note, I just realised how translucent is Rizu's dress that you can see her backside inside there. Maybe it's just the lighting. Oh well. All in all, it was an okay chapter, and we might be having one more chapter left for the Rizu route, and then we move on to somebody else. And honestly, I can't wait to move on to somebody else, because yes, I like Rizu. I will make that 100% clear. I like Rizu, but not as much as the other characters, and I feel like this has been dragged on for way too long. And unfortunately, if they continue to downgrade other characters and drag it on, and it feels like it's getting repetitive, then unfortunately I might have to just call it quits. I would hate to do that because I like the series, but at the end of the day, I wasn't that inspired to do a review on this chapter, if I'm perfectly honest. As you could tell, I've been a bit negative, and I don't like doing that. But I want to know what your thoughts down in the comment section below. Maybe you think I'm completely wrong, and you absolutely loved this, and you thought it was brilliantly done, brilliantly handled. You can argue your point down in the comments. Let's have that discussion going. Okay, so with all that out of the way, I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, hit that like button. If you disliked everything that I've said, then hit that dislike button. You're entitled to do that as well. Comment all your thoughts down below. Hope you have an amazing day. Alligator, mutton it. Goodbye.